I'm Jerry Henry, a partner at Alexander Haas. The primary area I focus in is the faith-based organizations and human service groups, although I do work with a broad spectrum of nonprofit organizations. What brought me to Alexander Haas was actually a phone call. The former principals of the firm called me one day and asked, "Jerry, out of your broad experiences working with nonprofit organizations of different styles and types, would you consider coming to have breakfast with us to talk about the possibility of you being a consultant?" It was not something I ever planned of or thought about myself, but was flattered that they called and contacted me. What I like most about working at Alexander Haas is the variety of clients that we serve, and particularly the ones that I am called upon to serve. I like to think of myself as a Renaissance person, and so while I do work primarily in a couple of different areas, mainly related to human services or faith-based just because of my education background, I actually enjoy being involved in education, as well as the arts, cultural groups, and feel that we have a lot to offer in that area, and the variety is what really gives me energy and excitement about the work I do. The most challenging part of the job is probably dealing with the work-life balance, where you're trying to balance family, relaxation, as well as being immediately present for all the client needs that you encounter on a day-to-day basis as a consultant. My go-to resources to keep up with trends and what's currently occurring in the nonprofit sector are probably a number of different sources. There are a number of blogs that I do reference, particularly in the faith-based area and the human services area, one being the Auburn Weekly out of Duke University, which gives me a good background of knowledge of what's going on in the faith community. I'd say that another blog and bits of information that I really rely on heavily come from the Giving Institute. Alexander Haas is proud to be a member of the Giving Institute. And then I also rely on resources that we collect here at the office, whether it's the Chronicle of Philanthropy, Chronicle of Higher Education, but more importantly, it's the resources that each of the other consultants find themselves and bring and share with each of us here at the firm. So it's very collaborative in that sense, and we're building on a base of knowledge between one another. I'm not sure that fundraising in the next 2 years is going to change that drastically. The growth in giving has maintained about 2% of the gross domestic product over the past number of years, and I think that we're seeing it remaining about that same level. There is a focus in the nonprofit sector to look for the next technology that's going to make life easier on all of our organizations and all of the development officers out there. I'm not sure technology is the total answer. Our experience is that relationships will still be the deciding factor in how people go about raising major gifts for their organization. The biggest influence in my professional career was probably through the senior minister that I worked with when I came right out of seminary and began profession as a United Methodist minister. He taught me early on that I couldn't do my work sitting behind the desk, that I had to get out and be with people and be in relationships with people. And I carry that over to the work that I do in the consulting firm today, where I'm actually encouraging development officers to do the same thing. Get out from behind the desk, go out and meet people and talk to people, because that's how the relationships are built. Books or publications I keep up with these days primarily reside on the app on my iPad or iPhone. And being a person who's really interested in food and good wine, Food and Wine magazine is a great reference for me, along with several other culinary publications that come across my apps. I'm a member of the James Beard Chairman's Club and love getting the monthly magazine showing me who's cooking at the James Beard House in New York, and I love to tap into the video from the kitchens up there periodically. And also I really enjoy basic history publications, just whether it's National Geographic or any of the special magazines on history that help take me back to another time and another era that I can live through. The organizations that I feel we have the greatest impact on are typically those who, number one, listen to what we say, take our recommendations seriously, and then act upon those recommendations. Secondly, I'd say that the organizations that tend to be those that work best with us are those with whom we build a close and strong relationship over a period of time. We may start with one small, simple project. Maybe it's some type of an assessment. We're working internally with the development staff. And eventually that relationship builds till it becomes a capital campaign, some other type of experience from our consulting side of the industry. One thing that many people may not know about me is that I am a first-generation college graduate. And I've had the wonderful experience of not only going to a 4-year college, but then going on to Yale University, where I currently serve on the Board of Advisors for not only the Divinity School where I studied, but also now for the entire university for the Board of Governors. So that's a wonderful example of coming from basically a background where I came from a rural family in the low country of South Carolina and have had the wonderful experience to be studying at one of the major international research universities. Probably my biggest outside interest away from the firm is really dining out at restaurants. No matter what community I travel to, I seem to be able to find out the best restaurants, the most current restaurants, and I love engaging with the executive chefs at the restaurants to have a conversation about how they tailor their art to the work that they do and to their craft. I love every community that I go into because our clients often read my bio, see that I'm interested in food and wine, and they make recommendations of where I should dine.